Hi, I'm Donna from Make Your Own Happy, and today I want to demonstrate an alternative way of displaying your beautiful embroidery, not just in a hoop, but on a canvas. I'm going to be doing two different ways, using a staple gun and using a needle and thread. So let's get started. So I've trimmed down my fabric, and what I've also done is I have trimmed down the white backing fabric that I stitched through just to remove some of the extra bulk as well. And then I've gone ahead and just done stapled two sides, but I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So to make sure you have got your design positioned exactly how you want it, you're just going to lay your design, now that you've trimmed it down, onto your canvas and make sure that you've lined it up. I just do mine by eye, I don't bother measuring it or anything. And then at this point, if you've got some pins, you could just put a couple of pins in to keep it in place, or you can spray the canvas with the basting glue, or even just use a little bit of Pritt stick or something like that, just to give it something to stick to so that it doesn't move too much when you flip it over. And then you can turn it over and do the next step. So what I have done here with this one is, because I had quite a bit of excess here, I cut this to 1.5, but it seems like quite a lot. So, but it doesn't seem so much on here, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Maybe it's the canvas isn't as thick. So what I did is, just because when I folded it over, it was quite deep, I've actually turned it in a little bit, so you've got a nice edge here. You don't need to do that, just to stop it fraying. So I folded in, and I always start with the short sides, but this is a square, so it doesn't really matter. So I folded it in, and I've just put a staple in the middle of that side and the middle of that side. So that's where we are at the moment. So this is the staple gun method. So I've positioned it in the center, I folded over my edges, and this is where I do it slightly different to some of the other videos that I've seen. A lot of people talk about stretching your fabric. So once you've done two sides, you then go on and do the middle of the other sides. However, I found that it is easier to get a nice flat corner to do that first, and then, because this doesn't need a lot of stretching, it's not like a piece of artwork that's stretched on a canvas or anything, so I don't find it too much of a problem. So I'm just going to show you how to do the corner on this one. Okay, so it's a bit like wrapping a Christmas present. You're going to fold in by smoothing along with your thumb there and creating a triangle. And the same on the other side. So you're smoothing your thumb from the edge in, just kind of crease it, and then creating these triangles. And these, so you've got upper triangles like ears, and then these lower ones. And what we're going to do is try to smoothing and hold a little bit of tension. Try to keep this bit smooth as you pull this up and across, and that's the kind of finished look that we're going for. So I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to pin that in place for the moment so I can show you what we're going to do. You could staple that, which is what I would normally do. So you're going for this, but I don't have enough hands to do it for the video. So you shouldn't have any kind of bulk here or here. It should be nice and flat. Yeah, so and this corner should be a 45-degree angle. And then smoothing it and pulling it, so you've got this nice triangle at the bottom. Oops, no wonder it's being weird. Okay, and that is the finished kind of look that we're going for, so that from the side you only have the one line that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to do it properly now. Smooth in those corners. Create my triangles on the side, making sure there's no bulk. It's nice and smooth. And this is like a 45-degree angle. I'm going to do the same with this one, which I pinned down. You can pin this first triangle if you want, and then staple it in one, so you don't use so many staples. And then you're left with this bit. So as you are folding it up, just like you're wrapping a present, this is where you want to try to reduce as much bulk as you can. We're smoothing it down and then pulling it quite taut. Now if you can, do it in one and hold this. It's a bit tricky. See, that's quite baggy. I'm not. Whereas that one, you see the difference? Baggy, not baggy. So if you can try and do it in one, then you reduce the number of staples, but I don't think it's a problem using more staples. So that's a nice corner there. Got the 45-degree angle, I've got nothing on this side. Yeah. So I'm going to replicate that on the other side. And this is why I don't do it in the middle first, because I like to be able to manipulate the fabric so that you can reduce the amount of bulk you have. Okay. And now before I staple this one, I'm just making sure that this is going to be nice and smooth when I pull this up to finish it off. So I've done the two corners and now I've just got this here. And if you want to, you could turn that in so that you don't have a frayed edge. Just going to fold that over and just make sure that you're not going to get any lumps and bumps. You just have to be patient with it. And it is just going to be the edge of the frame, so no one's going to be looking at it that closely. There we go. And that's what it looks like. That actual bump is on the canvas underneath. I'm not quite sure what that is. So you can see that it's nicely done on the edge. And then you just need to repeat on the other side. So just to remind you, you're just going to fold in the edges like you're doing a Christmas present. Birthday presents. I'm going to fold up these corners so that it's nice and smooth along the edges and they look like 45-degree, the good 45-degree angles, that you could use the inside of the canvas to help you with that. I'm just going to pin that bit in place. And you can cut this excess down as well if you find that you've got a lot of bulk at the back, because that is not very neatly done at all. That's the problem with doing it on camera. I can't get my hands in the right position. I might remove that actually and neaten that up, but I just wanted to show you how neat it looks on the edges. And now we're going to have a go. I'm going to show you how to do it without a staple gun. So I've gone ahead and I've started a little bit of the canvas that we're going to do just with a needle and thread. So same steps as before. I trimmed it down and trimmed down the any backing or interfacing you may have as well, so remove some bulk. I positioned it on the front, and then I've used pins to just hold it in place to make sure that it doesn't move. I've started with the short ends. And what I've done is I have used, I'm using hand quilting cotton for patchwork because it's nice and strong. But you can use nice strong thread and just a needle. And I have thread it with quite a long bit because we're going to go back and forth. So to begin with, you just fold up the edges and you do some stitching to make it nice and tight. And I'm going to show you the stitch in a moment. So this is nice and taut now, so I can remove these pins, and then we're going to do our mitered corners like we did for the stapled version. So I'm going to just push in those edges like before, just using my fingers to like finger press, and then using a pin. Oops, a daisy. To just, oh, that didn't work. That's a very old pin. Let me try a different one. Right, there we go. Okay, and the other side. So pushing that in, bring that up, trying to get that 45-degree angle here. Smoothing that out with my fingers and secure with a pin. Okay, oh, not doing very well with these pins. Okay, it does help if you put the pin into the canvas itself. There we go. Okay, and now we can see that this bit is needs to be tightened. So use another pin. Can't get it out of my. Okay, we're not going to worry too much about this because this will be tightened when we string it across. So what you need to do is you need to have it folded up like this. It will still be a bit baggy, but you need to make sure that these edges are nice and smooth because we're going to do the same on the other side, and then we're going to stitch across. So I'm going to rotate around. So now we're going to do the stitching. Before we do, I'm just going to turn it over and make sure that I'm happy with how that looks, which I am. Excellent. Okay, so as I said, I've threaded up my needle with a long bit of strong thread, and I put a knot at the end. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start from the middle and go along to one side, and then I'm going to do it back again. So I'm just going to start with bringing my thread through from the back. Okay, and I'm just stitching across the top, so going in, let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going into the fabric and taking a small stitch, pull that through. I may have got a bit too much thread here, but I don't want to run out on camera. It's going to catch on the pins. That's what I have to worry about. Now, what we're going to do is this, we're going to, in every couple of stitches, we're going to pull this taut, and it is going to bring the fabric across, but you don't need to worry about it with every stitch. So now I'm going back down here, and I'm going to do exactly the same, in and out of the fabric. Try not to catch your thread on all of these pins that are sticking up. Here we go. Okay, and you can see that when you pull that, it pulls them taut across. So I'm going to go up again, in and out. I'm not going to worry about pulling it taut every time. Just going to pull it through and then down at the bottom. In fact, that I'm just going to remove that pin because it's just driving me nuts. Okay, so you can see it's quite loose. You're just going to pull that and it will bring the tension. So as you do pull it, just going to spread the fabric out, smooth it out with your fingers, and then pull to create a bit of tension. So just do that every now and then as you're going across. And you can see that my stitches are fairly close to each other. I'm just going to continue that all the way out. So I'm going to carry that on until the end, then we'll show you how to finish it off. Okay, so my thread just snapped as I pulled it then. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you what to do if that happens. So I'm going to just put a knot here and then carry on. So I pulled it nice and taut. Make sure this is nice and taut. And then I'm just going to take it over my finger and pull that thread through so you've created a little knot. Put my needle eye in there and pull that nice and taut onto the needle, and then that just creates a little knot there. Cut that off, and then I'm going to re-thread my needle and carry on. And as you can see, what I have done is I've taken the stitching into this 45-degree angle where it crosses over, so it's going through the top bit of fabric and this bottom one here. You can see that here as well, to just attach these two together as you're going across. If I turn it onto the front, you can see that it's pulled it quite taut here compared to down here where it's still flappy. I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to do the opposite side, and that should finish it off. So I've gone ahead and I've done my stitching all the way along, and I have checked the edges that I'm quite happy with. It's pulled it quite taut. So sometimes as you're going along, you just want to pick up the threads, pulling them just to get a little bit more tension as you go along, but don't pull it too tight that you snaps like it did for me earlier. And then to finish off, I'm just going to do the same knot that I did before, and that way I can position it exactly where I want. Pull it nice and taut and trim that off. Make sure you remove any pins that are left in there. And there we have it. So we've done two ways of mounting embroidery onto canvas. So this one with the staples, as you can see, I tied it up a little bit, but you still got these flaps. So you can fold those in and staple them, or you can cut them off. And the back of this one, again, doesn't look brilliant. So what I would probably do now is I would cut a square of felt to stick onto this, and I would just stick it on with some glue or some double-sided sticky tape, just to cover up that back and to make it look a little bit nicer. It also means then you've got a soft edge, particularly on the one with the staples, you've got a soft kind of backing for putting on your wall. The only reason that you might not do that is that if you are going to use this to hang it, for example, if you've got a hook on your wall and you want to hook it on, then you don't want to cover up this. But there are ways around that. For example, you could just stick felt around this bit to cover it up, or I tend to use felt and then put either a hanging loop or attach one of those command hooks that you can get, particularly just the Velcro strips that you can stick on. If you are using felt on the back and you get a command hook with a Velcro strip attached to your wall, sometimes the felt will just stick to the Velcro strip, so you don't actually need to put anything on here at all. It depends where you're going to put it and how you're going to display it. So you can stand them. Sometimes this one doesn't want to stand. And you can get things that you can lean them on. They look quite nice on a shelf. But I just think it's nice to frame your embroidery in different ways rather than just keeping it in a hoop. And that's it. 2 simple ways to mount your embroidery and create some wall art. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel if you would like some more embroidery tips. Please let me know in the comments which method you might be using, and of course if you need to ask any questions, anything you want clarification on, then please just let me know. Happy stitching!